What's going on, my friends? We're jumping in to something a little different today. This is Going Medieval. If you're a fan of games like RimWorld, Dwarf Fortress, Stonehearth, those colony management, colony sim type games, this is going to be the game for you. This took the best aspects of all of those games and combined it into one, and with a beautiful art style too, I might add. And it works. It is a beautifully crafted game. It's definitely going to be my new go-to Zen game after a long day of work when I just want to come home, relax, and just do some peaceful gaming. We're going to start off and we're going to have a few settlers, and we just have to build this into a thriving economy. I will take my time and kind of explain things as we go along, just for anyone who may be new. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? So we got a couple different play modes here. You got your standard experience, which is kind of a mix of everything, building and action. Peaceful, if you're just looking for that Zen experience, no enemy attacks, just gonna build your colony in peace, that'll be for you. But if you just want to watch the world burn, then hey, survival may be more up your alley. It's gonna be lots and lots of raids from what it sounds like, getting attacked constantly. So yeah, if you're a bloodthirsty warmonger, that could be for you too. I'm going to go in and just go for standard. We're going to do a little bit of a balance between everything here. I will put it on hard, though, and make it a little more difficult. I feel like the games are more rewarding when you play them on higher difficulties. And as you can see, we have a couple different starting options here. We'll get to that. So your basic starting option is a new life. We're going to start with 3 different settlers. And, you're going to get a bunch of standard supplies to get your camp going with, some equipment to help them out, and, let's see here. So, yeah, 3 settlers, fairly decent age range. Obviously, I'm going to try to go for as young as I possibly can go, because we don't want to get anyone too old. But if you want to look for something a little harder, you can go with the Lone Wolf experience here. Sounds like you just start off with just 1 person in the wintertime with very little supplies and equipment. That should definitely make for a good hard mode kind of campaign. Trying to grow and build your settlement from 1 person in that kind of environment. If neither one of those sound good to you, you could jump in and create your own scenario. I'd imagine this is something that'll probably be able to be shared. You can give it a narration, description, a name. You can set the season. You can set how many settlers you start with. Add a bunch of different conditions here as far as what you start with. So yeah, if you really want to go into if you're into that kind of role playing, you want to build your dream scenario here, that could be for you. We're gonna jump in just to a new life and go with the basic experience here. And one of the things I love is I'm personally not that good at it, but with the heraldry, you can really go crazy, and there's lots of different aspects here that you can combine, as you can see here, to make something really beautiful. I'm terrible at coming up with things like this, so I think right now I'm just gonna go with one of the pre-rendered ones. But I did mess around with this for a bit, and there's a lot you can do. Even with all these different shapes, you can change the colors, you can move them up and down, left and right, rotate them, you can scale them up and down, make them bigger, smaller, and then just kind of layer all the different shapes that are available and create something really unique. I am not artistic enough to really take full advantage of this, much to my dismay, because I really would like. I think it would be cool to have your own custom, banner here for your race or for your tribe. But I'm just gonna go ahead with the basic one for now. And we have a couple different starting locations that we can pick from. We have the hillside, the mountain, and the valley. So the valley type, as it says here, you're gonna have plentiful vegetation, fertile soil, clay, some limestone, but you're not gonna have a lot of gold, silver, iron, or salt. Mountains, on the other hand, you're gonna have plentiful in the ores, gold, iron, silver. But you're not gonna have a lot of room to really have farms and to be able to grow your fields. And the hillside, let's see. So it's a good defensive position, fair amount of limestone and clay, a moderate amount of fertile soil and vegetation. So hillside kind of sounds like an in-between of the valley and the mountain. So I'm thinking let's go with the hillside. This way we have some decent farmland, but we also have access to the different types of resources that we'll need to progress our civilization. I guess default size is what we will go with. And again, I'm terrible at coming up with names, you guys, so let's just kind of go through here and see if we find anything that sounds good. Keith. Yes, our settlement name is Keith. You know what? That's hilarious. I'm actually just going to go with that. Our settlement name is Keith. Let's head on over. So now we have to pick our starting settlers. Now, in the beginning, this is going to be very important because you're going to need a nice widespread range of abilities. You can't really have anyone specialized because you have so few people. So to get that good start, you really need a good mix of abilities. So I find it very important to get your first couple settlers. You know, they're key. You really need to take your time and pick the ones that you want. As you can see here, if you're familiar with, again, like RimWorld, for example, you have your different abilities, your different skills set up here, and what their level is, how proficient they are, and everybody will have skills that they are passionate about. Some have skills that they're very passionate about. And those skills that they are going, when they're performing these skills out in the world, they're going to earn more experience towards leveling up these skills much more than someone who wasn't passionate about the skill in question. So right now we need to go through and I need to find a good batch of settlers here to get us going. So bear with me. We'll be right back. All right, friends, we are back and we have our first 3 settlers here. Starting off the lineup is my friend Kit Kat Kate, and she is very passionate about animal handling, very passionate about carpentry. She's pretty smart, and she's pretty passionate about mining and smithing. Another thing to keep in mind when picking your settlers are these perks here. Every character you get is going to have perks, and there will be positive and negative. In this case, she has an iron stomach, so her consumption duration is minus 40%. You know, that's not major, but hey, you know, every little bit helps. And this one here, she's wise, she's smart, so she's going to gain XP 10% quicker, and it boosts her intellectual skill. And then we also have religious alignment down here. And there's going to be 2 different religions. I forget what they are called. They are the... Let's see, the Oak Brethren and the Restitutionists. Now, we will have to build religious buildings for them to be able to pray and do whatever in. So you kind of want to... look at that. They're mostly all leaning towards the one side, which is good, so going off the start here, she is going to be our researcher and builder for like things like beds and chairs and doing our research to push our civilization forward. She could be doing some hauling and mining and stuff in the meantime as well. Moving on, we have Omni. And again, he is passionate about animal handling, very passionate about medicine, speechcraft, and tailoring. He is going to be our resident doctor in the beginning, and, you know, also various other tasks around. He'll build, he'll cook, but primarily he is going to be our doctor in the beginning. And he is, let's see, 40 winks. So he only needs to shut his eyes for the briefest of catnaps to feel fully rested. Boy, I wish that was the case in my life. So he's going to recover quicker, and it's going to deplete slower. That is actually very good. It means when we get him in the game, we don't have to set him to sleep as long as some of the others. He's also callous, so he is unmoved by human morality. Flesh is a mere commodity once the soul has fled. Not sure what effect this has, but well, I guess we'll find out. But he's also benevolent. He's a ray of hope in an otherwise bleak existence. He makes everyone feel better. And he is also a restitutionist zealot. So we are going to make sure that we have the religious buildings in place so that he can fulfill his religious needs, because he is going to need to pray a lot, probably daily. And then filling it out, we have Old Greg. Old Greg is very passionate about botany and mining, and he's also passionate about culinary medicine and tailoring. So, Old Greg is going to be our gardener. He's going to be the one tending our farms and growing our food. And he will be our backup doctor in the meantime. And then he will also primarily be our chef. Now, I know it's at 0, but he is passionate about it, so it should level up fairly quickly. And in the beginning, we're not going to be really making anything too complex. So, this should be fine, I believe. And then he's very passionate about mining and tailoring. So, overall, we're pretty well rounded. On the right here, you can kind of see our skills as far as the group as a whole goes. And I'm okay with this. I'm happy with this. Old Greg, he's glutton. He likes to eat, don't we all? So he is going to require more food. And then he's also a green thumb. So again, he will be harvesting and growing our crops. He's not that old though. He's only 27. So and let's see. So he is leaning towards Oak Brethren. What was Kate again? I can't remember. So she's leaning towards a restitutionist. So kind of a good mix there. So let's jump on into the map, shall we? All right. And then here it's just going to kind of go over everything that you selected. Make sure that you are good with everything you picked. I checked off show tutorial tips. We'll just figure it out as we go along. Like I said, I kind of played the first couple days. And there's always an encyclopedia you can refer to if you have any questions. So let's jump on in. All right, we are in, and let's take a look at our surroundings here. I'm kind of liking how much land we have to grow some food. We can see some resources here right on the surface. We got some iron, some limestone. So looks like we got a good spread. This is more limestone. So yeah, we got a good spread of resources. One thing you're going to notice here, we have all of our food on the ground out in the open. And much like RimWorld, these things are going to decay. And these right here, the wood, that's going to last us a good while. But if we choose something like, say, packaged meals, they're going to decompose in 16 days, 16 hours. And we can see why. It is decomposing because it is sitting on the ground. So we want to get this stuff in a sheltered building. We want to go ahead and build walls, a floor, and once we get all this stuff inside of that, you'll notice that it will drastically change the decay rate. You also have other food like cabbages, where not only will they decay from being out in the open or temperature or what have you, but they're also going to rot. And, it's food. Food doesn't last forever, right? Food goes bad. So, again, it tells you here exactly why it is rotting. Because of the ground type and the temperature. So, one of the first things I'm going to do here is we're just going to allow everything. Now, this is going to create a lot of work for them, but we're not going to have them, start hauling everything immediately. We are going to go ahead and focus some of their efforts so they're not running around all over the place. And we can take a look up here. For those of you familiar with RimWorld, this will look very, very, very familiar to you. This is just setting their priorities as far as how the AI will handle the tasks for these individual settlers. This is where you're going to want to set your priorities for who you want doing what. If you want Omni being our resident doctor, then yeah, he's going to have a higher priority in tending the wounds of others. But we also had Old Greg here. Old Greg was our backup. So you know what? We may leave him as a 3. But Kate's really not too handy when it comes to tending the wounds. So we may bump her up to a 5, maybe a 4. Kind of have her there as a last resort. God forbid something happened to Omni and Old Greg here. So this is where you really take advantage of the skill sets of your settlers and set all of your priorities. In the beginning, we're really just going to have them performing a little bit of everything until we really start to grow. Once our civilization really grows, then we can focus on kind of specializing our settlers into certain areas. Here in the schedule, this is where you're going to set when they're awake, when they sleep, when they're fulfilling their needs to be happy, whatever that may be. And, certain people, like we had, who was it here? Was it Omni? Yeah, so Omni doesn't require as much sleep as the others, so maybe he'll get a little less sleep time and more work time. And this is not something that's going to be set in stone. We will be changing this as the game goes on. It will be evolving. It will be changing it depending on what we need. And then we have our manage screen. This is where we can manage all of our settlers. We can manage the clothing that they're wearing. We can manage what type of weapons that they're going to equip, and what kind of food that they'll eat, and what kind of stimulants that they will use, if any. We can also draft them from here, which will basically allow you to control them because it's basically initiates the combat. And then we can set how they're going to react when they're not drafted. We can set them to neutral. They'll just kind of be like, nah, this is fine. We can set them to aggressive, where they're just going to freaking go right at it. Or you can set them to flee, where they're going to run around. You can also check out the region. And this I am not too familiar with yet. Haven't really had much experience with it, but you can see that there's other settlements near us, mostly friendly, so that's a good sign. And we have some enemy settlements around. Again, I'm not really sure what effect this has in the long term, but we will figure that out together. So bear with me a moment. I'm going to go ahead and set the jobs and the schedule and manage and everything, and then we'll review it when I get back. Alright, my friends, we're back. I have a basic layout done. These are by no means set in stone. These will evolve as we make our way through the game. As stated before, Omni is going to be our primary physician in camp. And other than that, he's just going to kind of have a very balanced view of things. He'll just kind of jump in, help out where needed. Kate, on the other hand, she is going to primarily focus on research once we get that going. And carpentry, so building those tables, building the stools, and all that stuff that we'll need. And then again, just a kind of basic overview of everything else. And then Old Greg's going to be our botanist, our green thumb. He is going to be planting our gardens and harvesting our crops. And he is also going to be our chef. So not only is he going to be growing our food, he is going to be cooking our food. Over on the schedule side, again, not set in stone. This stuff is all subject to change. Everyone going to bed, getting a good 7-hour sleep in, except for Omni. I shaved off an hour of him since he doesn't require as much sleep. Due to his, where was it? Due to his trait here, 40 winks. So I may even shave off another hour if it turns out he doesn't need it. We give him a little bit of anything time in the morning, right before they get into their leisure time. Wake up, have their coffee, stretch their legs, play some games, get ready for the day, and then they work. And then at the end of the workday, a little bit more leisure time, anything time to fulfill whatever needs they have, and then bed. And our management screen didn't really change too much here. Kind of left this alone. Kate right here, if you take a look, not much of a fighter. Not much of a fighter at all. 0 marksman, 0 melee, not passionate about either. So we are going to try, we will arm her. We're going to give her a weapon, but definitely not someone we're going to be sending up in front. Omni, on the other hand, he's a brawler. Look at that, 13. He loves to fight. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to give him a sword and board. He's going to be our tank. Sword, board, maybe throw on some, maybe throw on the Gambus in there and give him a little bit more protection. Old Greg, a little more on the melee side as well. Not so much of a marksman, but we need someone in range. So we're going to go ahead and give him the short bow. And hopefully we'll get his ranged skills up a little bit. Now right now I do have the time paused, as you can tell. Simply pressing the space bar will unpause it, and they will go ahead and start fulfilling all of the different tasks that are laid out before him. Omni already had going ahead and grabbing that shield. Let's go ahead and get you the Gambison as well. Now, first thing we need to do, we need to get all this stuff off the ground into a designated storage spot so it does not rot. So we'll go ahead, we got our walls here. Now you can see at the bottom we have different variants of the wall. We have clay, we have wood. Right now I'm just going to stick with the wood because I'm not sure what our resources look like altogether. Wood is plentiful. As you can see, we have tons of trees. If I don't have any tasks lined up for them, they are just going to run around and just start doing a bunch of hauling jobs for basically all this stuff since I allowed it anyway. Now, the way roofs work in this game is basically your roof can be attached to any of the walls here up to 4 tiles out. So this wall right here will handle a roof going 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, if I build here, whoopsie. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I build a wall here, that should support the roof going both directions. Now we also want to throw some floors in under there, and I'm not going to use up my wood for that. I'm just going to go ahead and go with sticks. And I'll go ahead and throw a stick floor at the bottom there. I'm sorry if you hear my cat over there. He is wanting some attention right now. And let's see what else. So let's see. We can go, you know what? We have a bunch of hay here. Let's go with a thatched roof. As you can see, we have a problem here. Oop, it is not symmetrical. There we go. Go ahead and throw our thatched roof on there. You can see on the points there that it connects. If I did it here, it would not. So we are good. And that will be our storage for all of our supplies there. The other basic need that we have is they need someplace to live. So we need to get a little shelter set up for these guys. And while I do that, I'm going to let them go ahead and just start constructing that. We're going to go ahead and build a small little house that's going to be shared for all of them for right now. And whoops, later on we can look to go ahead and build more of a, give them individual homes here. I am messing that up several times. All right. So we're going to go ahead. Doesn't need to be massive. Nothing crazy at first. Very simple, very basic. We just need to make sure the needs are met. And let's go ahead and we got to throw some doors on here, right? We got to throw some doors. Wooden door. If you actually look at the icon, it shows you which way the door is going to swing. Which we can rotate, which, I don't know. It's like a nice little touch, right? I'm going to put a door here. And if I put one on the other side, it will act just like a double door. And you know what, actually, I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bigger. What are these guys doing? They are gathering resources. So they're going ahead. You know what, though? Something I forgot to do, guys. We need to set our stockpile zone, which is this here. So we want to make sure that this is where they are placing all of our goods. And that actually generates a list on the top right. You can see here, it lists, it shows everything that we have. Now there was a way to have drop downs and stuff, or simplifies that. Maybe it's because we don't have a lot right now. We're gonna go ahead and in here, if you click on the stockpile, you can go in and allow or unallow anything that you really want. This is a good way if you want designated stockpiles for, say, like smithing. You have a blacksmith, you only want them to store ores and stuff there. You can go ahead and set all that here. For right now, we do not want any carcasses being stored in with the rest of our stuff. Otherwise, I'm just going to allow everything else. We're going to go ahead and get our house here. We're going to throw some windows in. Why not? Ooh, is that... Okay, that is even. I was going to say, that's going to bug the crap out of me if it's not even. Just like this isn't. Oh, no. You know what? It is. I just wasn't looking at it right. So we're going to throw a bunch of windows in here. That'll help with the air. Keeping things nice and fresh and sunny. I'm going to throw down a nice wicker floor. There you go. I don't want to use up a lot of my wood yet. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get some wood chopped up. And we are going to need some sleeping spots as well. So for right now, you guys are just going to get some hay sleeping spots. And we'll just go 1 and a 2 and a 3. And then we need to make sure to keep them warm. How much clay do we have? Which one is clay? That's linen. That's hay. Where is the clay? Do we not have any? Okay, we may not have any clay just yet. So we'll just go ahead. We'll queue this up for them to build in here. And make sure to keep them nice and warm. And then last but not least, we need a roof. And you know what? We'll go ahead with a wicker roof. Why not? So go ahead and pop that on there. So that's a good start for the day. We got ourselves storage and we got housing going. And then last but not least, I just want to throw a campfire up here. This way we can get some food cooking. Not a fan of actually how close these are. Probably should have thought that out a little better, but hey, you know what? Again, nothing is set in stone. Everything is subject to change. Right now, we just need to make sure all of their basic needs are met, and then we can look to expand on it further. On the top left here, we can set it to hide the roofs so that we can actually see better inside of the buildings. And you know what? Let's just throw a little backgammon in there for them. Why not? You know what? Play little cards. We don't really have much activities for right now. The other thing we're going to need is we will need places for them to meet their religious needs. So we may just set up, you know, just like nothing fancy, just like a little something for them to go and pray at. And we want to keep them separate. I don't know if there's any effect, like if the two religions like kind of clash. I don't know what effect that'll have on us long term. Actually, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna go ahead, slap them in there nice and close together. And we'll do one for the restitutionist. Gonna throw that right there. And one for the Oak Brethren Shrine here. And you know what? Let's make it a little bit more fancy. Let's throw some wall torches up on there, shall we? 1, 2, and 3. Beautiful. So now they have a place for their goods. They have a place to sleep. They have a place to pray, and they have a place to get some leisure, and they have a place to cook as well as soon as they get all these tasks done. As you can see, we got a bunch of stuff laying around. We can click on here. You can see here, these are in fact ripe. So on the bottom here, we're going to go ahead and click harvest, and I'm going to go ahead and select them. But if you look at these other ones, they're ripening, so they're not quite ready just yet. So we're just going to grab the ones that are ripe, start getting some food going. Let's go ahead and we can, yeah. We'll go ahead, we're going to harvest this stuff here. I'm sure there's a hotkey for that. Yeah, B. So we're going to go ahead, we're just going to harvest this grass, get some more hay. May need it for roofs. Let's see what we got over here. We got some ripe food over here. Ripening, so not quite yet. The other beautiful thing about this game, what do we got here? Okay, so we got some clay piles right over here. That is perfect. The other thing about this game is there are multiple levels to this game. As you can see in the top left corner, we have 16 layers that we can go ahead and scroll through. Just by, if I hold the control button in here, we can see that that button in the top left there, or not the button, the icon changes between all the layers that we are going through. And you can see we hit the bottom there. And not quite the bottom, actually. This goes pretty far down. So if you want to get like a nice mining tunnel in there, you want to be a dwarf and live underground, you want to dig that hole, that diggy hole, then go right ahead. The other beautiful thing about this is the temperature kind of aspects of the game. If you have a butcher shop and you want to keep the meats underground and keep them nice and cold, you build a storage underground, it's going to stay naturally cold because it's underground, which is a nice little touch, I think, that they added to the game. We're going to go ahead and speed up time here a little bit, see if we can get this work done a little quicker here. You can see our guys' skills are going up, and they're going to go ahead and carry out these tasks based on the priorities that we had set before them previously. It is already getting pretty late into the day. I was kind of hoping to have more of this done. Can we prioritize? Whoopsie. Let's Kate, can we prioritize sleeping? There we go. We got to get these beds up for them. I don't want them sleeping on the floor. And let's do one last one. Omni's already out. Come on, Kate. There you go. What is old Greg up to? He is heading to bed as well, which is good. Good. We got the beds up just in time. Sleeping outside under the stars. Nothing wrong with that. These are ripe. Go ahead and gather those. And we'll just wait till morning when everyone wakes up. All right, rise and shine. Omni is up and at it and probably pissing off everybody else by hammering away at 3 in the morning. What is wrong with you, sir? Isn't there something else you could be doing? Let's see. So, if you go ahead and click on them here, we can go ahead and check his stats. We can see he's not too happy. His bed wasn't comfortable. He's lacking entertainment. He slept outside. No religious activity. So they're going to be pretty unhappy for at first. You know, we got to get this stuff in order. We got to get these needs met. Let's see how old Greg is doing. Old Greg's a little bit better. You know, we have that initial optimism, I think, for that, you know, new colony. He ate a good meal. Bed's not that comfortable, and he slept outside. What about Kate? How are you doing, Kate? Same thing, lacking, slept outside. Okay. All this stuff, this is stuff that we're addressing right now. So hopefully within the next day, it should be all set. We'll go ahead and harvest these mushrooms as well. I mean, nothing bad ever happened from consuming some random mushrooms in a forest, am I right? All right, we got some herbs over here too. That's new to me. Let's see. All right, guys, let's just keep working. Work, workity, work. Oh, go ahead and play some cards. Get that leisure time in. That'll improve their mood over here, as you can see. I think it was Kate, actually. That was more... Yeah, so entertainment needs fulfilled. So let's just keep on going on, getting all this basic stuff up and going. There we go. We got a campfire going. Beautiful. So we can go ahead and we can produce some meals now. We already have some pre-packaged meals, but we're going to go ahead and we'll just say we're going to produce 10 food. Old Greg's going to get right to it since that is his primary focus, is our chef. But you can see here that he's just kind of throwing the food on the ground. So it's not going to stay good that long. So hopefully we can get somebody up here to prioritize hauling. Maybe, let's see, maybe Kate will be our hauler too. Let's see. Yeah, you know what, let's just, you know what, we could actually just have her, we could just do it manually. Just say, hey, can you go move those, please? We don't have to set anything specific for that. Greg is not happy, even though he's in his element, cooking some food. All right, it's the religious and slept outside. So we need to get some more trees chopped down because looks like we are out of wood. So let's go ahead and just start clearing this area here because we need to get this floor taken care of and we need to get this roof taken care of. It looks like our storage is done. So you can see here, if we go back into these are no longer decaying due to the elements and being outside. So we are good. And obviously there's like, you know, not really sealed off, but you know, as far as the game's concerned, this stuff will no longer decay. The only thing that will cause things to decay now is just like the food, right? It needs to be in a certain temperature. And it's, I mean, it's food, like I said, not all food lasts forever. And we got our religious areas up for them so they can pray and meet those religious needs that they may have. We got the wood and the sticks coming along here so that they can go ahead and finish up the house. And hopefully by tonight they will be able to sleep indoors and be nice and peaceful. This is saying that we are out of resources. So let's see if we can find any more resources to harvest. We have some berries here that are ripe. So let's go ahead and get on those, shall we, Greg? What else do we have laying around that would be good? We got some more mushrooms over here. So let's go ahead and get the shrooms. All right, looking good, guys. Looking good, looking good. We getting the floor going. Now the other thing in here is, where is it at? Here. So you can actually see there are specific types of rooms you can build. Just because you throw all this stuff in the room, yes, they will in fact use it. If I go ahead and throw a butcher table right in here in the bedroom, yeah, you know, they will use it. They will use this backgammon table, but it's just gonna count as like it's just like it's a spare room, right? It's just no bonuses. It's just kind of there. It's a catch-all, has a little bit of everything. But if we went ahead and say we created a shared bedroom, so basically all you have to do is have the couple beds in there, and that's it. Nothing else can be in there. So if we got rid of that backgammon table, it would be a shared bedroom, and you can see here that we would get a small positive mood modifier. So I think that is worth getting rid of this and moving that outside. I don't know if there's a way to actually just relocate it, but for right now, we're going to put this outside. We're going to stick it right here, play some cards outside. You can see here at the top, it switched. It's now a shared bedroom. And hopefully that'll give us, look at that. So no negative modifiers right now. Religious needs fulfilled. Everybody's looking good except for old Greg. He's too busy working. All right, so one of the next things we're going to need actually is a research table so that we can start researching new technologies and growing our civilization into a bigger and brighter future. And again, this stuff, all temporary. This stuff is all going to change. We will have designated areas for everything. I know it's a little sloppy at first, but you just have to get through that initial growing pains of getting established. Ah, look at that. She already, you know what? I was going to tell her to do that, but she knew and she did it anyway. We're going to queue up some more berries here and let's see if there's any other foods around. Kate, where are you running off to? All right, so she's just hauling, right? Because she doesn't have any specific tasks. She is just going to run around and grab all the stuff that we approved, which probably not the best. Maybe I should not. Oh, that one's actually ripening. Maybe I should not have just allowed everything. Once we get this research up, though, she will be our primary researcher, I believe. Yeah, she's our intellectual, already very skilled in it, very bright. Let's see, get some more, oopsie, get some more berries going, get that food. Kate, let's, see. There is a chance when their skill is low that they will fail in harvesting, which seemed to be the case right there, which is fine. It's still early. People are going to make mistakes. Things are going to break. Let's go ahead and get some of this grass here so we can get more thatched roofs. I think that was for the thatched roofs. And let's see. Old Greg's cooking up them meals. Where is Omni? Where are you, my friend? You are way out there. Can you... Oh, never mind. Kate beat you to it. She is eager to learn, eager to get in there and study. She said, screw you. I am building my own place. Let's go ahead and get some more of these trees chopped down. All right, she's going to town. Hammer, hammer. Perfect. All right, so... Oh, we got some unhappy people. Why are we unhappy? Why are we... They're hungry. So go get some food. All right, same there. Greg, how you holding up, Greg? Greg is feeling fantastic. All right, so we have our research table now, which we can go ahead. And the way research works, and we'll just take a pause here, is you can see the research tree here for us to go ahead and go down and unlock various different things in this research tree, which is pretty long. And the way it works is you don't actually research a specific tech. I don't just go, I'm going to research tailoring, and you learn it. No, they're going to go, they're going to study, they're going to write everything down in books. And you use those books, you apply those books towards that knowledge that you're learning. And if for whatever reason, say you have an area with all your books and all those books burned down, well, guess what? They don't have the knowledge to be able to build those things anymore. Just like anything, anyone growing up, you need to read books, you need to study, you need to learn these things. So you can see here now that we have 25 Chronicles, that's what those books are called, available. We're going to research architecture, which is going to give us a wooden beam. And that's going to cost us 15 Chronicles. There's no prerequisites to this technology. Boom. it's unlocked. So now, get them moving a little bit. We can see here, we have our wooden beams now. So we can definitely go vertical and get some layers into our buildings. Let's go ahead and let's start something new. So we're in early spring and we don't have enough actually chronicles, so we need to come here. And yep, all right, so whoopsie. That was not mean to do that. So we already have, was that Omni? Omni took Kate's job, jumped right in there. And we're going to go ahead and just make some chronicles so we can start unlocking stuff. And let's queue up some more trees. We need to just clear out this area a bit. So we're just going to go ahead and get rid of this stuff here. All right, let's just clear all this junk out of here. I want a nice, clean slate to build from, except for these berry bushes up here. They're still providing us some food right now. That's ripening, not ripe just yet. Ripening, okay. So, Omni, if you wouldn't mind, if you could prioritize chopping down that tree, and this way Kate, wherever Kate is, where are you heading, Kate? You're heading way out there. Could you, you know what? Could you prioritize production, please? I'd rather you over there putting that big brain of yours to use. Greg's over here cooking away. All right, so we have our basic needs of our settlement met. And I think for right there, we're going to call that at the first video. We got our basic needs met. We have our house, sleeping quarters, which doesn't look like it's fully done yet. We're still missing some floor here. We got storage. We have area to pray. We have an area to play. So for that, we're going to call it. And the next episode, we'll map out more of our soon-to-be village, town, whatever you want to call it, the village of Keith. And we'll map it out a little bit more, see where we want to go, what we can unlock with technology, and see what we can do to expand. Until then, my friends, take care.